Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for April 5, 2025. Firstly, we've been following the developments in Syria, where the international community has called for a firm stance against any actions that threaten the fragile peace. The United States has announced plans to increase humanitarian aid to Syria, focusing on supporting displaced persons and rebuilding critical infrastructure. Secondly, we've been tracking the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine, with a recent Russian strike hitting the home city of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, resulting in loss of life. The situation remains tense, with international leaders calling for de-escalation and an end to hostilities. Lastly, we delved into the intricacies of U.S.-China diplomacy, exploring the complexities of their trade relations and the potential opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Experts weigh in on the likelihood of a deal being struck within the next 3 to 6 months, with some advocating for China to present its own alternative version of a just world, while others recommend a more cautious approach. These stories highlight the delicate balance of power in international relations, where the stakes are high and the consequences of missteps can be far-reaching. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these developing stories. That's all for tonight's edition of the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay informed and stay ahead of the curve. And that's a wrap. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, we've been following the controversy surrounding the Trump administration's decision to purge senior leadership at the National Institutes of Health. This move has sent shockwaves through the scientific community, with concerns over funding cuts and politicization of science. The NII is a critical funding source for many scientists, and these cuts could have far-reaching consequences for research in the United States. In other news, the UK's local elections have taken an interesting turn with the defection of several Conservative councillors to the Labour Party. We've been examining the implications of this move and what it might mean for the outcome of the upcoming local elections. Our listeners have been sharing their thoughts on social media, and we invite you to join the conversation using the hashtag #AIDailyPress. Lastly, the United States' response to the devastating earthquake in Myanmar has come under criticism from humanitarian aid experts and former officials. The Trump administration's decision to dismantle the United States Agency for International Development has severely hindered the U.S.'s capacity to respond to crises like the Myanmar earthquake. Critics argue that this approach may not be enough to address the scale and complexity of humanitarian crises around the world. These are just a few of the stories we've been covering in the AI Daily Press. We'll continue to bring you updates and analysis as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again soon. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, in the world of dividend investing, Dividend Sensei has made some notable changes to his portfolio, swapping out Enbridge for enterprise products, partners to maximize long-term returns and minimize tax burden. Our expert analysts will be keeping a close eye on this development. Secondly, the Russian economy is facing challenges due to global trade tensions and plummeting oil prices. The Russian stock market has suffered its worst week in over 2 years, with the MOEX Russia index losing over 10% of its value. This downturn is attributed to the announcement of sweeping global tariffs by U.S. President Donald Trump and a drop in global oil prices. Lastly, we're focusing on the ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and its trading partners, which have been escalating rapidly. The U.S. has started collecting President Trump's new 10% tariff on all imports from many countries, sending shockwaves through the financial market. As Kellyanne Shaw, a trade lawyer, put it, "This is the single biggest trade action of our lifetime." We're already seeing signs of a negative feedback loop in the markets, and the question on everyone's mind is what's next. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored the stunning discovery of a binary star system consisting of two dead stars, or white dwarfs, on a collision course to explode in a Type 1a supernova. This event will be visible from Earth and outshine the Moon by a factor of 10. Next, we delved into the latest research on protoplanetary disks, which has completely changed our view of what a typical disk looks like. The study found that smaller disks around red dwarf stars are ideal for forming super-Earths, rocky worlds that are larger and more massive than our own planet. Lastly, we examined the breathtaking Hubble Space Telescope images of galaxy interactions, showcasing the majestic dance of galaxies in the universe. We also explored the discovery of a new binary star system, which has shed light on the physics of Type 1a supernovae explosions. These stories remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of our universe. From the life cycles of stars to the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy, there's still so much to learn and discover. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, good night, and keep looking up at those stars. Now for the latest in sports, here's Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, we bid farewell to one of the NFL's brightest stars, Julio Jones, as he announces his retirement. With an illustrious career spanning over a decade, Jones has left an indelible mark on the game, and his dedication, work ethic, and passion will undoubtedly be remembered for generations to come. In another exciting development, Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid expressed his admiration for the Brigham Young University football team, praising their impressive turnaround in the 2023 season. Coach Reid's accolades for the team's coaching staff, particularly head coach Kalani Sitake and key players like quarterback Jake Retzlaff, are a testament to the university's growing prowess in the world of college football. And finally, in a historic moment that will be etched in our memories forever, Washington Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin has tied the all-time record for most career goals in the National Hockey League, held by the legendary Wayne Gretzky. This remarkable achievement is a shining example of Ovechkin's unwavering dedication, unrelenting passion, and unbridled talent. These stories, folks, are a reminder that sports have the power to inspire, to uplift, and to bring us together like nothing else can. As we continue to follow these developments and more, we invite you to join us on this journey, exploring the world of sports with all its triumphs, setbacks, and moments of pure magic. That's all for tonight's special edition of the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, good night and goodbye. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Currell.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we explored the impact of funding cuts on libraries and museums across America. We met with librarians, curators, and community members who are fighting to keep these institutions alive. And we were inspired by the courage and conviction of Attorney General James, who is taking a stand against these cuts. Next, we traveled to rural Israel, where a 10-year-old girl named Zif Nitzan made an extraordinary discovery: an ancient Egyptian scarab seal estimated to be over 3,000 years old. This remarkable find not only provides a tangible connection to the past, but also highlights the significance of preserving our cultural heritage. Lastly, we reflected on the power of individual stories and the importance of tradition in shaping our collective identity. We celebrated the dignity of ordinary work, the beauty of everyday life, and the importance of community, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, there is always hope. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey across America and around the world, where we've explored the complexities of human experience and the enduring power of cultural heritage. Until next time, good night, and may the stories of our shared humanity continue to inspire and enlighten us. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Tonight, we're wrapping up with a quick recap of our top stories. First up, we delve into the world of entertainment with a review of the new drama series Your Friend's Neighbors. Think excess, think suburban life, and think John Hamm. It's a wild ride, folks. Next, we tackled the humble hashtag. Is it still relevant in today's social media landscape? We explored its history, from its origins to its current status as a generational divider. Spoiler alert, our parents are still rocking those hashtags like it's 2009. And finally, we spun into the world of music and tech with a deep dive on turntables and vinyl records. With sales soaring, we highlighted the best equipment and accessories for audiophiles and newcomers alike. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay social, keep on spinning those records, and remember, you only live once, or as our friend Alan would say, you only live once. This is Joan, signing off. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David, a teenager.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we visited the rolling hills and countryside of the UK, where a heartwarming surge in humpback whale sightings has been reported. Researchers believe that these majestic creatures are migrating from Arctic feeding grounds to warmer waters, potentially using the Eastern English Channel as a shortcut. While the exact reasons behind this change in behavior remain unclear, growing public awareness and improved reporting mechanisms have contributed to this trend. In stark contrast, our second story took us to the darker side of wildlife trade, where researchers uncovered significant discrepancies in the trade of tokay geckos, a species highly prized for its supposed medicinal properties. The findings highlight the urgent need for better monitoring and regulation of the wildlife trade to prevent overexploitation and potential extinction. Lastly, we traveled to the countryside of Europe, where the traditional practice of harvesting tokay geckos has led to concerns about the sustainability of this trade. Meanwhile, in a seemingly unrelated story, we explored the picturesque landscapes of rural Europe, where the decline of traditional farming practices has led to a loss of biodiversity. However, our final story actually took us to Romania and Indonesia, where the exploitation of tokay geckos is threatening the very survival of this species. These stories serve as a reminder of the importance of effective regulation, monitoring, and conservation efforts to protect endangered species and preserve the delicate balance of our ecosystem. Join us tomorrow for more in-depth coverage of these stories and other pressing environmental issues. Thank you for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.